Greetings, fairy tale lovers. It's me, Scarlett Cole, and I am back because it is week 3 of season 9 and time for Kingdom Confidential for Ivy's story. If you haven't noticed, I've scrapped the tiara and gone a little bit more steampunk to fit in with the series for season 9. Hopefully you've been enjoying this little twist on Alice in Wonderland. It is probably one of my favorite story concepts that we have in the entire Kingdom of Fairytales. The first time I read the concept for this, I was in love. Not only is Alice in Wonderland one of my favorite stories growing up, I also thought the twist on it was absolutely spectacular, and the places that they could totally take this story were beyond awesome. Immediately, I wanted to be the one to write this story, and then I stopped, sat back, and realized, no, I don't want to write this story. I want somebody else to write this story, completely rock it, and then I can read it as a reader instead of having to create it. And I honestly think that Zara has done a fantastic job of creating this world. I absolutely adore the story so far, and hopefully you've been reading along and you have the same opinion. If you have any comments about this season or about any of the seasons so far, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and we'll be sure to give them a read. However, it is Kingdom Confidential week, so I hope you have your tea or coffee ready, and it is time for us to talk about some of the best gossip in the kingdom. For this week, I talked to Zara about the creation of this story. She was very excited to be able to create this world and all of these characters for you guys, so hopefully you are enjoying it and becoming a huge fan just like me. So the first thing I want to tell you about this season is that Zara had a great time playing with the names of the characters. I'm sure you've probably figured a few of them out, but just in case you haven't, the character Whitlappen stands for wit or white in German, and Lappen, which is rabbit in French. So White Rabbit, Whitlappen. Very smart. Another character, Raven Maddox Capello, was named very specifically on the Alice in Wonderland character that pre-existed. Raven is very close to raving. Maddox can be shortened to mad, so raving mad, and Capello is actually Italian for hat, so raving mad hat or raving mad hatter if you are an Alice in Wonderland fan. And although she had a great time creating those fantastic names for her characters, she did have some trouble when she was doing her research for those names, making sure that they all sounded well together and blended well as a full name. I'm sure that there's a lot that were gone on the scratch list and ended up in the garbage, but I'm really happy with the ones that she chose. They sound absolutely fantastic for her characters, and they always have a double meaning, which always makes me smile. The second thing to tell you about this story is that Zara spent a lot of time researching pocket watches. So apparently, the quality of a pocket watch is dependent on how many jewels the pocket watch contains. This one was off eBay, so I'm assuming probably none. However, an average pocket watch has about 7 jewels in it, and the jewels are placed in areas that have the most wear and tear between the mechanical parts. A quality pocket watch would have at least 17 to 21 jewels within its mechanisms. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot of bling for one watch. Maybe that's why there's a quality one is so expensive. The third thing about this season is the amount of time that Zara spent researching hats. Not only did she spend her time on pocket watches, she did spend her time figuring out things to wear on your head. Hats do play a large part in this story, so making sure that she got that right was very important to her. So she did spend a lot of her time researching headwear. Hopefully the amount of time and research that she put into it is showing through in her prose, and you can see how much time she spent and how authentic she wanted it to be. Number 4, the city of Melfall should feel as authentic and as real as humanly possible because it's based on a real place. Zara spent time living in France while she was in university and loved the old cities that were built of wood and stone. The ones with wide avenues, tiny alleyways, and all the buildings pressed up against each other. This is what she used as her inspiration to write Melfall, and it should be a cross between the avenues of Paris and the wall around Carcassonne, if I even said that correctly. Unfortunately, I have not been to France. And if you've been reading along like me, you know she's nailed that setting. You can just feel the magic and the old worldliness of Melfall as you're reading those stories. And if you haven't read them so far, I definitely recommend it, as this is one of the lands that I absolutely adore out of the entire kingdom. And number 5, with the amount of quirky and interesting characters in the original Alice in Wonderland and the ones that Zara has created for this story, you might be surprised to know that her favorite character was actually Pearl. Her favorite thing about writing Pearl was being able to write her transformation from an entitled and selfish character into one that is aware of the plight of others and is willing to roll up their sleeves to help those less fortunate. This is a wonderful lesson for anyone to learn. However, when you are writing characters like that, it is a huge transformation, and it is definitely a challenge for those characters to overcome some of their well-ingrained issues. Having Pearl become a better person was probably quite a challenge to write for Zara. However, I think she has done a fantastic job so far, and I cannot wait to read the last book coming out next Wednesday. So that's all I have for Kingdom Confidential this week. And the final book in the season, Goddess of Hearts, comes out this Wednesday, and you are not going to want to miss the finale of wrapping up season 9. Time has been going absolutely way too fast. We are almost getting towards the end, and hopefully you have been reading all of the books so far, and you're being able to see the build up for the entire story over the entire 52 books. If you haven't, you've only been reading select seasons, I really hope that you've been enjoying them, and please make sure that you leave in the comments below the ones that you read and the ones that are your favorites so far. I will be back next week when we say goodbye to Ivy and hello to our next character. I'm not sure if you know who that is yet. However, if we have a tornado of guesses in the comments below, maybe we can figure it out. I hope you enjoyed this week's Kingdom Confidential and enjoyed last week's playlist for Ivy. Thank you so much for joining me, and you guys have a great week. See you later.